Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're doing something a bit different and honestly kind of fascinating. We're going to put a single, highly specific piece of digital media under the microscope. Think of this podcast cover art as a digital artifact. It's like a giant puzzle we're going to decode together by breaking down its visual layout, its text, and the iconography to see exactly how information gets packaged in our modern digital landscape. So here's the multi-million-dollar question we're tackling today. What actually happens when the breezy, super casual world of travel content collides head-on with the dense, strict world of national legal codes? It's a pretty jarring combo, right? I mean, usually you're looking for travel guides for your vacation and heavy legal compilations for your law degree, but here we are looking at an artifact that mashes these two totally different realities together in just the most unexpected way.
Okay, Section 1. Introducing the artifact.
And here it is. This is the source material we're dissecting today. Now, right off the bat, you've probably noticed this earthy orange and beige aesthetic. It's got this grounded, almost retro color palette. No flashy photos, no crazy neon colors. It's entirely graphic and text-based. Actually, it presents itself with this level of seriousness that almost mimics a physical, bound reference book you'd pull from a dusty library archive. We're going to deconstruct this whole thing piece by piece, starting with the literal words the creator chose to use. Which brings us to Section 2, analyzing the core text. Let's break this down and see what we can glean. If we extract the text straight from the cover, we get 4 completely distinct phrases. We've got podcast anchoring the top, then taking up the absolute most visual real estate, Thai labor law. Below that, the incredibly dense phrase, Compilation B254's foreign amendments. And finally, just tucked away at the bottom, by travel lover. Just reading those out loud, you can literally feel how dense and formal the central subject matter is. It is totally unambiguous. This isn't some casual guide to working in Thailand. It is strictly, formally Thai labor law. Now let's zero in on this specific line right here, Compilation B2541. This specific legal and numerical phrase is just fascinating. It instantly establishes a highly specialized official tone. Throwing numbers into a title, especially when they're formatted like B2541, signals to you that this is definitely not a casual summary. It's a precise historical legal marker. It tells us the content inside is going to be incredibly granular, dealing with a very particular set of documents or specific time frame. It commands a certain level of academic respect right out of the gate. And then, right below that numerical marker, we find this absolute gem. If you look closely at the spelling, it reads amendments rather than the traditional amendments. Now, sure, it'd be super easy to dismiss this as just a simple typo, but in the context of our artifact analysis, we really shouldn't frame this as a flaw to mock. Instead, think of it as an authentic, defining characteristic of this specific piece of media. In a world full of perfectly polished AI-generated content, this missing A is kind of like a digital fingerprint. It reminds us there's an actual human behind this, someone typing out the text, arranging the layout, and hitting publish. It gives the whole thing a really unique charm.
All right, moving on to Section 3, visual symbols and icons.
Starting up in the top right corner, we find this specific icon combination. We've got an open book, and stamped right beside it is the section sign, that double S symbol. That typographical character is used almost exclusively to refer to a particular section of a legal or academic document. So by placing that symbol so prominently right next to the open pages of a book, the creator is absolutely doubling down on the heavy legal theme. It's a brilliant piece of visual shorthand that instantly says, hey, this is reference material, this is official code. Now shift your focus over to the left side. Here we've got a silhouette map. This specific geographical outline represents the borders of Thailand. And yeah, while the text already says Thai, this icon visually grounds the abstract concept of law into a tangible physical space. Plus, it perfectly balances out the visual weight of the book on the right side, making sure there's absolutely zero ambiguity about the jurisdiction of these laws. It's just a really smart, clear design choice to orient us immediately. And finally, positioned prominently on the right side, right under the main title, we have the scales of justice. I mean, this is probably the most universally recognized classic legal iconography in the world, right? It represents the fair and balanced administration of law. And by placing it right here, it visually anchors the center text. So think about it. You have the map establishing where, the section sign establishing what type of document, and the scales reinforcing the overarching theme of law and justice. The visual communication happening here is honestly incredibly cohesive. Let's transition to Section 4, the creator and format. Way up in the top left corner, sitting above literally everything else, is the word podcast, sitting right next to the classic RSS broadcast icon. This is our digital medium identifier. Despite that earthy, physical book aesthetic we talked about and the heavy, dusty nature of legal codes, this little icon firmly roots the artifact in the modern digital audio space. It's an audio broadcast. And that immediately tells us exactly how we are meant to consume this dense compilation of statutes. Now, what is really interesting here is the incredible contrast. Think about these two distinct phrases side by side. On the one hand, we've got the intensely dense, formal, bureaucratic Thai labor law compilation BE 2041. On the other hand, we have the creator's moniker, travel lover. This stark thematic juxtaposition is just wild to me. You have this lifestyle-oriented, casual, almost whimsical creator name paired with literally the heaviest, most specific national legal code imaginable. It's this fascinating clash of personal branding versus highly technical content. It completely subverts any expectations you'd have about who produces legal reference material. So let's bring it all back together and look at the complete digital artifact one last time. When we view the whole shebang now, we're seeing it with entirely new eyes. And it brilliantly illustrates how a few simple design choices can create a deeply layered piece of media. We have the textual quirks, like that unique spending of min-mints. We have the highly coordinated legal icons, the scales, the map, the section sign, all creating a serious academic visual frame. And embedded right in the middle of all this, that stark, almost funny tonal juxtaposition of a heavy national legal code brought to you by someone called Travel Lover. It creates a truly memorable visual artifact that stands out precisely because of its unique contradictions. Which leaves us with one final, provocative thought to chew on. Who exactly is the target demographic for this highly specific, incredibly niche artifact? I mean, is it legal scholars studying Southeast Asian labor trends, expatriates navigating employment in Bangkok, or is it something else entirely? The fact that something this granular exists and is packaged by a travel lover perfectly highlights the incredibly diverse, wonderfully weird, and surprisingly specific landscape of modern digital media. There really is a niche for everything and a creator for every niche. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this changes the way you look at the digital content you scroll past every single day.